welcome in again to our special farewell tour of Cities Skylines as we look forward to the release of Cities Skylines 2. Our next tour in this series is a very, very popular, maybe fan favorite build that we did on the channel. We spent months of time on the snow-scaped tundra of Moose Bay. And so I will let you enjoy the whitewashed snowy land that we created. Probably one of my most detailed cities. We hand placed almost everything in this one, so I'm very proud of this particular city. Features a lot of just skills that I gained over the years as one of more recent builds. So with that, please enjoy a final look at Moose Bay.
Here's Moose Bay. Here's the map. Here is the map that we were on. It's a beautiful map. We still have other things we could do, right? We never did anything around here. There's Moose Bay. Here is our city. But our highway connections coming in around. Nobody uses this road. It's a beautiful road that we increased the speed limit to by 1,000,000. No one uses it. All right, but here we go. Here is the city of Moose Bay. We'll walk us through step by step here. So we started in Old Town. Old Town is where the city began. All of the original kind of infrastructure is here. It's very residential. We've got commercial coming in down the street. You can see they put a big strode through eventually. This obviously wasn't there originally. It got cut through the grid that was the main part of downtown. The city initially started as a rail and harbor connection point, right? So all of this is kind of industry in here, and the jobs were fed by the port, the harbor, and then the train, and so a lot of industry happened here. Import, export of goods from the rail and from the harbor. And then the city obviously formed off the off-ramp in Old Town. After that, some people decided that being in the old part of downtown was not good enough for them, and so they moved into the fancy foothills. And so we have kind of our higher-end neighborhood, the beautiful park that kind of runs right through the middle here, highly frequented park. Also where we dump all of our snow, conveniently. We've got some hydropower here, but all of our kind of fancier homes up on the ridge. I mean, look at the views. Look at the views of the city from up here in the fancy foothills, where people started moving once they realized the city was going to start growing in this direction. Beautiful views of the city from up in the foothills there. The city then, of course, started to expand. The harbor was transformed into more of a piers and shops area. We expanded in down here. And then Old Town, the old section of the downtown started. I think we called it Midtown. Midtown started forming. Obviously, the buildings are a little bit older in this part of town. It's got kind of a New York, older New York kind of vibe. As the city grew, brand new massive interchange was put in here, and that formed the core of the downtown area. So all of the largest buildings, the financial core, the office core, all sits here in the center of downtown off of our main, what should have been, or what should be now, our main exit point from the freeway. The entire freeway is actually buried. So because of all the snow and cold temperatures, it's much easier to maintain roads, of course, if they are underground. And so you'll notice that the rail cuts across everything here, but the highway system actually runs underneath the city. And so that actually runs all the way underneath the strode here, all the way until it pops back up here to hit up this interchange off into the city, and then it drops back underground, comes all the way through, and pops back up again, where it hits this interchange, which is now, this interchange is still backed up a bunch because it never got improved, because it wasn't meant to be a large interchange, and the city expanded so rapidly that it became quite large. And then, of course, it drops back underground. The forest suburbs extended out here, and then everything, of course, pops back up over here, and that's kind of where the city ends at this point. So, after the freeway system was buried in order to deal with the accumulating snow, downtown, of course, began to expand out into the peninsula, more residential housing, a little bit higher tech buildings in this direction. We've got our hockey rink out here on the peninsula, and a lot of our residential buildings out here. a lighthouse that still is not properly connected. We have a beautiful, nature reserve, our national park, Moon Island National Park, because it looked like a moon once until I terraformed some stuff. But this is a pretty cool spot. Get some of the best views of the city from right here. Some of my personal favorite views of the skyline come from right here. You could only take a ferry. You can only take a ferry to get there. And so there is the skyline. It's a gorgeous shot. If you want to check out some more beautiful shots of the city, I did do a Yule log of this city. It's all decorated for Christmas. The city is fully decorated for Christmas. And so if you want to check out 2 hours of footage of this city, we've got 2 hours of footage. We've got beautiful lit trees everywhere. It's a really fun video if you want to watch any more of this city. I really love this view right here. We've got our trolley line running. We've got our skyline around the bay. This is one of my favorite shots right here. Very good. Very good shot. I love how this turned out. This whole fall off of the skyline, the wall of buildings. Just really liked how that turned out. You can see, again, we've got Christmas decor kind of strewn throughout the city, put up on some of these buildings here. We actually made a whole spot over here with lit Christmas trees. Lot on some of these is suspect, but got one of my favorite buildings over here. The Flatiron building is here. Got that overlooking the city. Some interesting lighting going on right now with the cloud cover that we have in the city. Christmas trees everywhere, celebrating the holiday season, as that's when we were mainly accomplishing this build. So lots of cool stuff going on. We have a really cool park that runs along the whole strip of the island here. So this whole peninsula, this is all a park. It's actually heavily frequented, so a heavily used park, and actually is highlighted by this feature that we made here, which is our little over water pedestrian bridge. Always lots of pedestrians hanging out and chilling on this bridge as well. So that's it's a cool little feature. People, I don't know, the pedestrians use it. We have our holiday bazaar, our holiday market. This place is hopping all the time. Christmas market right here, shop stalls, all kinds of things. The Tim Hortons in the background, because of course you have to have a Tim Hortons within range of the beautiful shopping complex there, outdoor shopping complex. Smack dab in the middle of downtown, we've got 2 outdoor hockey rinks frequented by people that, you know, why not? Come out of your office building, play a little stick and puck. We've got some curling rinks downtown, because why not? The city was intended to be a Canadian city. That's how we built it. You'll notice a lot of famous Canadian buildings in the skyline, highlighted, of course, by buildings from Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver's got some buildings in here as well. There's a couple of Dutch buildings, some Rotterdam-inspired things, because I take a lot of just pride in my Dutch background as well. So we got those in there. We took the U.S. Bank Stadium because that seemed to be the most viable one for a city of this type of cold. And so we've got that in here. And then, of course, we transition out of the downtown area and into kind of midtown, or the mid-rise area where there's no skyscrapers anymore. We've got large shopping complexes running along our main strode that comes through town. All of this is prime shopping. We've got some paths that run through big shopping complexes. All of our government buildings, I believe, ended up slotting in over here. We've got a lot of statues and different parks and different things over here. This is actually, I think, Edmonton City Hall building. It's pretty cool. We use that one for our City Hall. Off the side here. Got some pretty cool views on a couple different spots here. Statue of Talos that actually looks over our main strip coming downtown. And then, of course, everything falls off into kind of the midtown area. Residential surrounded by commercial, and then we have this little island that we actually did not change at all. This is hardly terraformed. Our baseball park sits out there. Lots of other entertainment. There's a casino, lots of parking. Get to a bunch of different things, and we also have the Calgary Tower sitting here, and our convention center. So that's kind of where a lot of entertainment, kind of an entertainment hub. Out here on the island, we got the big bridge. It's a one-way, so it just one ways around to get in and off there. It's public transportation that runs out there as well. That slides you off into kind of our mega complex where all of our big box stores are. So we've got lots of different big box stores. You get your Best Buy, your Lowe's, your parking garages, You've got, I think, a London Drug over here somewhere, your IKEA, your Canadian Tire, a couple different Lowe's. There's a Lowe's over here. There's a Lowe's over there. We're dumping all of our snow on the back side near the freeway over there. And then you slide into suburbia, which was our most recent build. So we've got kind of true suburbia, a little more gridded style along kind of the main road, and then out into my current favorite area. We just finished this build, the forest suburbs. And so the houses are a little more spread apart, lots of big yards in the middle of the forest. And so this turned out exactly the way I wanted it. There is a nice sequestered passenger train station out here. Looks like people are actually gathering at the bus stop that's up here. I don't know if that's getting used necessarily, but all of this just recently finished. And then off to our kind of final interchange that's starting to get a little busier now. As the city has expanded, you've got your commercial running down your main road, and then a little bit more kind of services and amenities sitting on that side. And so you just get such good views of the city from so many different spots here. I'll kind of run it into nighttime. If it doesn't go fast enough, we'll run it through. I'm going to drop it into the night sky so we can get some night shots, because I think that's in a snow city. This is some of the most beautiful shots I think come from the nighttime shots. You can see right over our forest. We got in between the two mountains, which is where a lot of the traffic comes through. A lot of our highway traffic and train traffic flows right through this kind of crevice in our mountain system. And you can see from like some of the islands, some of the views that we're going to get of the city as we're out here. From the bridge. Come out to the peninsula, get a shot down Main Street here. You see the fall off of the skyline kind of in both directions. That was kind of the envisionment, was to get that kind of like the skyline falls off this way and this way. And the skyline also kind of falls off and peaks in this direction. Just one of my favorite looks. There's a Reaper overlooking the city. So who knows what will happen to the city? I don't know. But all of this build happening, I don't know. What if we spent like 6 months on this build? Probably something like that. Maybe not quite that. I can't remember. But that is the look. That is Moose Bay. It's another nice shot kind of from up on top of the mountain. Kind of get a look of how the city has stretched out. Beautiful. Yeah. I really like it. I learned a ton during this build. It was a lot of fun to put all this together. I hand-placed almost everything in basically from the Pearson Shops area all the way out to the stadium. Almost all of this and then out onto the peninsula is all hand-placed. The rest of it I zoned in. So it's just kind of a unique like combination of both kind of detailed building, but also taking advantage of the fact that the game will allow you to zone and kind of setting up some zones and just letting buildings kind of pre-place themselves. So that is kind of that's Moose Bay. It's minus 5 degrees here, and that's how it usually is. That's how it usually is in the city. So it's been an absolute blast to do this. Chat, thanks for being here for this build. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for watching this finale tour of Moose Bay. What a city. Lots of great memories, obviously, in Moose Bay. Was glad to get away from the snow after we stopped that build. It just like really gets to your eyes after a while. But a beautiful city. Loved when it was snowing there. Northern Lights, the mountains, the map was so fun. So thank you for watching. If you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, because more from this series as we say farewell to City Skylines 1, the rest of our builds coming up later. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you